Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Nigerian Market. And Nigerian Market is advocacy program of AID. AID is Ambassador's Initiative for Development and Empowerment, the foremost NGO championing the economic growth of Nigeria. I will speak or will talk on the platform here is how we can grow our economy. How can we look inward to begin to grow what we eat and eat what we grow? Let's wear what we make, and that is how other nations have developed. Nigeria is not different, even though they said we are a developing country. If we all put our heads together, if we look inward, to the things God has endowed Nigeria with, I bet you and I tell you the truth, you can take it to the bank. Nigeria still remains the strongest economy in Africa and even in the world. Nigeria can compete everywhere because God has blessed us with human and natural resources. All right, so we want to welcome our viewers to the Thursday edition of the Nigerian Market. My name still remains Chimene Samuel Paul. And this morning, before I bring in our guest, who I know is an expert when it comes to SMEs or MSMEs, he's an agribusiness development consultant, the man who will tell us more on harnessing the potentials of MSMEs in Nigeria, to build the economy of Nigeria. Good. This was the same thing we discussed on Tuesday. And of course, we're now going detail, getting the solutions, more solutions. We brought in the chairman of Visa Group, and you saw fantastic things, being made or manufactured by Nigerians. And just when Sunday, to tell you the importance of SMEs or MSMEs in nation development. Of course, the report has it that MSMEs contribute about 65%, of nation's GDP, and that's why the United Nations has considered that June 27th of every year will be celebrated as MSME year or week. So we have just celebrated MSME day being last Sunday, June 27th. And today is 1st of July. We are all in the mood of celebration. So we want to wish all entrepreneurs, happy MSME day. And of course, I've been the 1st July, and then the first day in the second quarter, of the half year, not second quarter now. This is going to the third quarter. And so we welcome all of us, and said, Happy New Month. All right, so we'll go into harnessing the potentials. We discover that if MSMEs or SMEs can contribute to 65% of the nation's GDP, why as a nation are we not taking advantage? Or if we have taken advantage, why are we not seeing the result? Going by Smedian's report, Smedian says we have almost 50 million SMEs in Nigeria. And so you can imagine that 50 million active SMEs are in Nigeria. Nigeria shouldn't be ranking, top on unemployment, poverty, and all those things. So what is the challenge? What are these things that we have to look? What is the strategy? What is the methodology that we can all put together so that we can get the right result? The right result will help us to reduce poverty by creating enough job for the teeming youths. All right, so let me not take you further than that. I want to bring in our guest. Our guest this morning is Mr. Wale Obembe. Am I right, sir?
Yes, Wale Obembe, all right.
Okay, so you're welcome to Nigerian Market this morning.
Yeah, it's nice being on your platform this morning.
Okay, thank you. So for our viewers, we have always said, if you are there, don't be a passive member because we are discussing Nigeria issues. And we have said on this platform times without number, if anything that has to do with Nigeria economy, Nigerian security, Nigerian growth, it should not be left in the hands of few. Let all of us, contribute to build the Nigeria of our dream. So you will make us a lot of good by, engaging on the platform, like the page, share this and then let us make it interactive. Please, the WhatsApp number, the phone number are all there for you to communicate with us. Let us interact. Let's make it friendly. And your opinion, maybe just one language can change Nigeria. All right, so let's come back now to our guest, an agri expert. So, but let me just give you this. So you just tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Wale Obebe. I'm an agri-business specialist, and I'm also into enterprise development programs for the micro, small, and medium enterprise. We thank you for the privilege to be here. When we talk about micro, small, and medium enterprise, we need to have a proper definition and classification. Now, micro enterprise, that's one category. They are the informal sector of the economy. Let me also state here that the SME are the growth drivers of any economy. Why? Because they stimulate the economy. Now, before we begin to harness potential of any organization or any individual of any nation, we need to have a framework at which those institutions operate. Now, in Nigeria, just as I just said, that we have the four categories of enterprise under the SME. We have micro enterprise, we have small enterprise, and we have medium enterprise, and we have large scale enterprise. Now, the micro enterprise, as I've said the other time, I said they are the informal sector of the economy. They are not tracked into the database of the nation. They are not into the legal framework of the Constitution of Nigeria. So they were there. There we are. But these people are actually the key drivers of the economy. And how do we harness these people? The first thing is to first look at various actors in this value chain. We have upward stream and downward stream sector. Under the upward stream development, because we need to identify who are the actors in this sector we're talking about. Who are the actors that drive this value chain? When I say value chain, I mean from the production to processing to packaging to marketing. So across those four value chains, there are people that drive the economy. So when we look at micro enterprise, these are people that actually identify or that distribution system of what is being produced across. And then when you look at Nigeria, particularly, the majority of SME are into distribution systems. They are into distribution systems. They produce the sales. We have the petty traders, the GSM people. They are into the system, but they are not being captured into the database that will be able to harness and see what exactly we can do. So before you could harness the potential for the SME, there must be a formidable database. Thank God, Springer just started a concept whereby you log into their systems, you register your organizations, and your business organization names, and then they issue a certificate that have an NUN, which can be used to track you or to support you. That is for small enterprise, because for those people are those who register.
Okay, because I am sorry, sir. Let me just say, because I was just taking time to know. You said they are the informal, and of course they are the major or the key drivers of the economy.
Yes.
But they are not in the database.
Yes.
All right, because I was almost coming to ask if they are not in the database, because going by what the Nigerian government have said, the support given to this level of people, how did we get their contact or their data? So the one Smidan has just introduced, that's just what Smidan has just introduced.
Yes.
But I believe in that it is what Smidan have done, or they have a way of getting these persons, into the database. How did the government?
Yeah, that is what Sweden is have just done,
okay,
to actually identify and have the database of this group of people, so that we can actually know what kind of sector are they, what are they doing, what are their challenges, where are they. So those database will form an institutional framework,
okay,
for the government to actually come up with a policy that will drive the process or their programs.
So what has government been doing all these years? Because a lot of money, if I'm right, CBN will give you billions and running into trillions, being given to SMEs or MSMEs. So how do we get this data to empower these persons? Because from our topic, if we harness their potentials, it means they can build the economy of Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so
I think the first thing which Sweden has done is to engage them.
Okay.
Having a positive.
So CBN didn't do that before now?
I'm not sure.
Okay, fine.
So because you cannot harness my potential if you don't engage me.
Yeah.
And it's when you engage me, you need to know exactly what I do and what are the areas that I need improvement.
Mm-hmm.
So having my database that will show who I am, my gender, my locations, my geographical area, my area of the sector dynamics that I'm into, will be able to help the government to be able to classify me and then put me in a broader perspective on what exactly they need to do with me. Okay. That is what Sweden is coming to do now.
Okay.
Because you don't just run a program, you can't harness my potential until you engage me.
Mm-hmm.
Full engagement and then find out exactly what I am doing.
Yeah.
So the Sweden has come up powerfully, and I love that concept, to actually track these people into their profile and then ensure that they actually have an idea what is their average income they are generating, what are the activities they are conducting, where are they, do they have a group? If they have a full group, that group, does it have a structure in place to drive the process of the group formation? Those are the few things. Now, if you look at the Nigeria context, agriculture is mostly the dominant sector where you find this micro enterprise. Mm-hmm. And then, if agriculture is the most dominant aspect, then the government needs to look at what do we need to stimulate the economy of this sector. I
love that word, stimulate, because if you stimulate them, in turn they give back.
Of course.
All right. So this whole thing, I want practical. Let's come to even our language, normal literature, so that we don't speak too much grammar. Now, if government now is getting it right, how do we begin to get the results? Because in spite the billions, like I said earlier, that CBN said it has injected into support of SMEs, we're not seeing the result, because I believe that if those things are done in the right channel, I remember during the last administration, the UWIN program, the focus was, okay, we'll empower you, so that by the time we empower you, we believe that in the next 1 or 2 years, you should be able to take at least 5 persons out of the street, for job. Now, if this thing has been, successful, then it means that over 2,000 or 3,000 SMEs that benefited from this, that's getting between 4 million to 10 million. Now, if you put 3,000, employing minimum of 3 persons, that would have been a huge number.
Yes.
But we're not seeing this. So going forward, what do you think we should do? And because we need to harness this people very well. Yes. We're talking about data.
Yes.
And then I'm also bringing, because government is bringing some incentive, because the primary thing, if we go out the street now and you want to ask the people, what do you want the government to do? The first thing they're even interested is financial support. So what is the first thing and what is the second? How do they get the financial support?
Now, the first thing I believe should be done is to to have entrepreneurial mindset,
Okay.
which is missing link among some of our MSME. We need to, Nigeria is now moving to that level now, because you need to have entrepreneurial skill to be able to build your business, to be able to manage your enterprise. There are certain skills, marketable skills, that you need to put in, that must be in place for you to succeed in any enterprise you are doing.
Okay.
So, and for you to do that, there must be a platform.
Yeah.
Like you just mentioned, a way which was designed for youth, graduate, who have creative mind, and they're doing well in their business, and government's okay. How do we support you? And that's that's one strategy. Another strategy for those who doesn't go to school, the big layers, the carpenters,
the welders.
Yes. The first thing is to actually identify their capacity gaps.
Okay.
Because you only, the best way to help me is to teach me how to do what I'm doing better.
And not to just dash you money.
Yeah, money is not the first foundation.
Yeah.
The first foundation to have a marketable skills to be able to run your enterprise. And that is a missing link. Some micro enterprise, don't have understand the basic record keeping. Just simple record keeping of what they do, what they sell, how they sell it, how much they make per week. They can't have it. They can't put it down. And you don't have that, how will you have effective business plan? If you have an effective business plan, how will you take off growth? If you don't have that, how will you be able to touch the economy? So we need to actually bring them into a net, and then develop a platform that can build their capacity in their various sectors. If you're into production, you build your capacity, and then under each of those sectors, we have what is called sector dynamics,
okay,
which will help each individual to come on board and develop a praise of what they need to do.
Okay, yeah. And before we go to breaking down this sector dynamics, we are talking to both formal and informal people now.
Yes.
So that's what the program. So we'll have to break it. But before he comes to breaking down the sector dynamics, our viewers, Mr. Wale Obembe is still here in the studio. We said earlier, please, let's engage on this platform. Let's get your opinion. Let's get your view. Please share, like, and engage the platform. Let a lot of SMEs, because are thinking about, we're talking about how SMEs can benefit, in government programs, and then their own personal capacity to ensure, especially now that the economy is not friendly, that whatever skill or whatever business they are into must see the light of the day. Because there has been that report that says, 60% or 50% of new SMEs don't go beyond 5 years. So for those who are starting or those who are, so let's share your concept. Let's get your opinion. So don't be a passive audience member. Please, let's be active. Share it again. Engage on the link. Like it. Let people know what is happening. And so we'll come back to Mr. Wale Obembe. Sector dynamics.
Yes.
Let's come and break it down, because we have informal sectors, to those who didn't go to much school, so that they can understand us.
So now the attention has been focused more on the formal sector.
Okay.
It's now the government is now beginning to do to address the areas of the informal sector, a form of money market that the government was just sharing about last year. Now, but money actually, even though it's an instrument of growth of your economic business, is not the real issue. The most important aspect of every business is to actually have a structure in place.
Okay.
Most of our Nigeria's organizations, if you put a structure in place, the business will run and overgrow you.
That's true.
So now, how do you put a structure in place for those of us who are in the informal sector? And that's why, because the government is trying to trap their nets back to this, is for them to government to force and train them. If you train me on what I do better, and this training is more of participatory, that be able to showcase experiences across ourselves as a group, then be able to make the best out of it. So the training methodology must be result oriented, that actually address the needs of this informal sector.
Needs.
Yes.
That will take us to, there's another word, needs assessment.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you know what I need, this is different from want.
Okay.
You must define very well. Needs is not the same thing as want. So when you actually identify the key needs of people in their various enterprise, and these needs were actually harnessed through a group discussion among themselves, and they are asked to rank those things in number 1 to 10. Then because you are talking to groups now, groups of the same homogeneous economy, that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, those days, having rank it and look at the first 5 or the 553, then you now come up with implementation strategy. How do you address this need? What do we need? Because one thing that is failing in some of the project program is ability for the participant to hold the ownership of that process. Because if you just come and believe you want to come and from me, it won't last. Sustainability aspect is very key.
Okay.
So when you engage people and you allow them to drive the process, then you can be sure it's going to be sustained. And that is some of the areas that government need to work on.
So sustainability, you mentioned implementation.
Yes.
Okay, so after he has to build the capacity of these persons, now how to implement this. So under that implementation stages, can we get deep to know what implementation is? And before we now go into this, is like what the people need to do.
Yes.
Yes, these are building blocks if you must grow as an SME. But we need to look at the solution from government, because if I open my internet now, the first thing I want to see solutions to SMEs challenges, like the one I saw when I was going through this. The first thing I saw was facility, credit facility for SMEs. So you see that even most of those who are also speaking on this topic, are seeing finance as the key to solving the challenges. So you are not telling us about those, identification of strengths and then the training.
There are fundamental things.
Okay, to get a skill, the entrepreneurial mindset, and all that. So these are what you need to know. Then we come to now for these handlers. Okay, the government. Now, the implementation and sustainability, we've talked about sustainability plan, you talk about ownership drive, because when you don't let the person know that after we do all these things for you, government is not taking your business, so you run your business by themselves. Okay.
Yeah. So one of the reasons where some of the government program doesn't work is that they don't track the right people. If you want to run an SME program, there must be a screening guide. People just come and take advantage of government and apply for things they do are not doing. And that is how some of these funds is going the wrong way. If you have a very good platform where you can screen who are the new SME, where are they located, what is their turnover, how long have they been in their business, did they have the associations? These are the building blocks before even you start bringing finances into a project. Finances is key, but there must be a foundation that will sustain the management of that fund. Because there are three aspects of fund. You can make money, you can ensure that you multiply that money, that is, you grow the money. Some of our SME get the money, but they don't manage the money. And if you cannot manage the money, you cannot multiply the money. And that is where some of the banks have issue of repayment problems, because people must be taught on how to make money, how to manage money, and how to grow it.
Okay.
And these are some of the things that will be part of the entrepreneur mind scale that's supposed to be packaged into the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur has to have this foundation and work with it and build his skills on it before he can grow the business. We come assume that entrepreneur has all, but it's good for us to actually assess. As I say, you need to do a need assessment to know their capacity gaps. And on that note, you need to see how do you fill in those capacity gaps, and after filling the gaps, how will you develop a key performance indicators to be able to assess whether what you have passed these people are using them, or whether what you have passed to them have impact on their income. Remember, this thing we are talking about are the majority of people are women. The women are people who are to this entrepreneurship business. So they need to have a proper training. I won't call it training, I will call it capacity building.
Yeah.
Because capacity building is not the same as training, where they can sit down, express what they do, and begin to identify gaps using SWOT analysis. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are opportunities? And then using your strengths to drive your opportunities, which I believe. So that is the area where you can start taking off and nesting the potentials.
Okay, I wish we have more time, but one key thing is you have to get money, manage money, and then grow the money. This is key, and that's why a lot of SMEs, it doesn't matter how much you give them, that business must definitely crumble. Sometimes we talk about if we give me 100,000, we've seen people that started a business with 3 million, with 5 million, and that business did not last up to 1 year because the skills, that capacity, to manage the money, to grow the money so that this money can run is not there. So that is where a lot of SMEs are already failing. So that gap must be filled so that when governments or even anybody want to give any assistance, we have to identify these gaps, fill in these gaps, so that when you give somebody little money, then this money can be managed, grow, and then multiply. This is how far we can go on the platform today. We want to sincerely thank you for coming to educate us. We will bring you more again. It has not just ended. Mr. Wale will come up again on the platform, and in case you don't know, this is what World Bank and United Nations has paid him, to do over time. That's what you are getting free. So knowledge is power, and we know that with what you have heard today, if you can put these key thoughts into plans or into action, I tell you, 50,000 naira within a short time will become 500,000. So we want to thank you for being there with us today on Nigerian Market. So we want to thank you again. For viewers, please keep engaging, keep sharing, and then keep liking the page. Once again, thank you from all of us, and happy weekend in advance. But before we go, we have a language here that says, buy Nigeria to grow Nigeria. Yeah, so we are going to repeat it. Buy Nigeria to grow Nigeria.